oh, Stephenie Meyer is such a bad writer. I don't know how she's a best-selling author and I can't get a literary agent. I hate to break it to you, but it's because you're not a better writer than Stephenie Meyer. And I know I'm going to piss people off with this, but sometimes writing tips need to challenge you. They need to be hard to hear. And if you want more writing tips, press my picture. At the very least, you are not doing the thing that Stephenie Meyer did to get her book sold. Usually when people say like, I'm a better writer than this best-selling author, what they mean is that like, I have better sentence level craft than this author. And you might be right. Maybe you can string a sentence together better than Stephenie Meyer. But in my opinion, that is the easiest part of writing to learn to do. You can develop sentence level craft. And when you go out and query your book to literary agents or try to sell it to an editor, you are not competing with other people's line level craft. There are phenomenal line level writers who cannot sell a book. Because what's harder to do than write a great sentence is to come up with a completely fresh idea that is marketable to the current audience of readers. And then take that very fresh idea and write it in a way that is mysterious, that the pacing is on, that people cannot stop flipping those pages. And if you can do that with bad line level craft, then you're doing it even better. People can't put down your book even if it's not the best level craft. Keeping people interested with something completely new is the hardest thing to do as a writer and what you need to work on. And there's a whole other conversation to be had for marginalized authors who do genuinely write very fresh ideas and then are told, oh, your idea isn't relatable. Or a marginalized writer has a fresh idea, doesn't have the best line level craft, and they get denied because they're not allowed to be as mediocre as the white authors. That's where this idea of like white mediocrity comes in. White authors do have more leeway to be mediocre. So I'm not talking about that, to be clear. This isn't a message to marginalize authors. But from one privileged writer to another privileged writer, you're just wrong when you say, oh, Stephenie Meyer is such a bad writer.
Oh my gosh. Do I have some comments? Guys, let's get into it. Hello, my name is Shelly. I am a lover of books. I love reading, and I love discussing everything to do with the book world, whether that be scandals, whether that be something new that's coming up, and whether that be viewpoints that I do not particularly agree with. So let's really get into the nitty-gritty, shall we? Yes, I was eating grapes, and I kind of feel like I want to continue eating grapes, but if I continue, I'm just going to end the video because I'll just keep eating. So I'm going to put these away, and we're just going to have a discussion about everything she said. First and foremost, and as you can already tell, no, I do not agree with her. I agree with some things she said, but I do not agree. And there are several things I don't agree with, and there are, of course, several reasons why. So let's get into it. First and foremost, people need to learn the difference between writing and marketing. Now, I know that she works in the publishing industry, and she obviously went on to speak about what she meant when she was saying that Stephenie Meyer is a better writer than most. And I know that with what she said, she knows that obviously like marketing is more so what she is describing in one sense, but also what she was describing was that Stephenie Meyer wrote something fresh and new. I'm sorry, that's still not like writing in the sense that that doesn't make Stephenie Meyer a good, great writer or a writer that's better than most people. No. She's creative. She's creative, yeah? That doesn't make her a good writer. Writing, the act of writing, no. Yes, it actually, a great big part of it is the technical aspects, the line level writing. And I know her whole point was people can be excellent at line level writing, but they don't have brand new, fresh ideas that will grip people, pull them in, get people to keep reading, which is why Stephenie Meyer is so successful. But even that is not fully true. Stephenie Meyer, she had a great new idea, a great new take on, the supernatural when it comes to vampires and werewolves. But even she obviously did not get her book picked up immediately. And yes, I know that just because you don't get your book picked up immediately doesn't mean that it's not a fresh new idea. No. But it's not just about having a fresh new idea. You need someone who is willing to gamble on you. You need someone who has seen your work and sees that it is a fresh new take and is willing to take a risk on you. Because if you don't know Stephenie Meyer's story, and I don't know, like, in great detail, so excuse me if I'm not saying names because I don't remember, but obviously Stephenie Meyers was querying and wasn't getting responses because people are just like, no. There was one person, however, there was one person, I believe, an agent, who saw the work and said, I can see the potential for this to blow. I can see this being the new thing. I can see this literally taking over. And she went to bat for Stephenie. She is the reason that Stephenie Meyers grew as big as she did. Because if anything, Stephenie Meyers could have been picked up by someone who didn't actually see the potential, by someone who wasn't willing to actually put so much work, so much effort, so much money, so much backing behind her work and actually making it go as far as it did. Because yes, she could have been published. There are a lot of great books that are published but do not go as far as Twilight went, because they didn't have someone like who had such faith in it that they went to bat for it. They made sure that Twilight was in everyone's mouth. It was in everyone's bookstore. It was at the front of everyone's bookstore. Everyone was discussing, everyone was talking about it. They made sure that if Twilight was spoken, we wouldn't think about the description of Twilight. No, we would think about vampires. She made sure of that. So first and foremost, it's not that Stephenie Meyers is a better writer. No. It's that she's creative. She's probably more creative than most in the ideas that she created. Fair. And even with that, no, it's not just that. It's that she had someone by chance who saw her work, who would be willing to go to bat for her. So that are like my first 2 points with this entire argument that she made. Next, we really need to step away from the idea that the publishing industry is a meritocracy. It is not. It just plain and simple is not. I appreciate that, she even noted when it came to diverse authors, they're fighting for their lives in these streets, because diverse authors can present an idea which is fresh, which is new, which no one has seen before, which will definitely keep the people engaged and have like that intrigue that sucks people in. But they will still not be given a chance. They still won't be gambled on. And people will continue to use that stupid excuse of, I can't relate. But you can relate to a blue alien in space. Like, honestly, be for real. So I am happy that she acknowledges that for diverse authors, this entire argument is null and void. I'm happy that she acknowledges that white mediocrity is at play. And with white mediocrity being at play, the whole idea that it's because Stephenie Meyers was so great that that's where she's at, null and void. Please, let's get rid of the idea that publishing is a meritocracy. Plain and simple, it's been proven several times over that it is not. So the idea that Stephenie Meyers is such a better writer than anyone, and that's why she is so popular, that's why she's so successful, throw it out the window, please. Like, just dump it in the bin. It's trash. There is no place for that argument here. The fact of the matter is, you can't take mass success or even mass appeal and make an automatic connection to quality. You simply can't, because let's be real, people enjoy bad things, okay? People like bad things. And it's not even like bad quality in terms of like the quality of writing. People also like bad ideas. We enjoy the cringe. Like, I definitely should have mentioned this at the beginning of this video, but I haven't read Twilight. I've watched it like an obsessed teen girl, even in my 20s. Yes. And I love rewatching it. Goodness me, I love rewatching it. Are there cringe scenes every 2 minutes? Yes. And do I love it? Yes. Like, there's just something about cringe that just pulls in humans. I will admit to that. I will 100% admit to it. So in terms of like when people say, oh, Twilight was the worst book ever, I never engage in those specific conversations simply because I can't argue for or against that. I haven't read it, so I can't really say if it's a good book or a bad book in terms of like the quality. I mean, the movie, if the movie truly was based on it, I mean, I agree when people say it's not the best piece of work. I agree. But this entire argument here, that she's a better writer than most because she had a better idea, or an idea that was new and fresh. Like, please, let's throw all of this out the window. It's a trash take. So sorry, it's really a trash take. But even to the point that people, in terms of like humanity and just us, we have like this we have this love for things that are bad and cringe. There's a whole new discussion to be had on that, and I want us to broach it, just broach the topic slightly. Like, we're not going to really really go in depth, but we need to speak about it slightly. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that quite a few people, quite a few readers, quite a few people in the literary world, whether you are, a writer, a publisher, an editor, will agree to this, because I'm pretty sure we've all noticed this trend. The fact that we are very much being conditioned to accept mediocrity, which is a reason I believe that we love things that are so bad. I think we have very much been conditioned to not just accept, but to enjoy mediocrity. And there's a point that she made in that video that kind of just backs my point. She said, line writing is so easy. It's the easiest part of writing. If it is so easy, yeah, why will they not do it? If it is so easy that everyone can do it, every writer, that's the simplest part of writing. If it's so easy, why not do it, right? So that's my first point. And I know there's someone out there who's watching this video and they will say, oh, because when it comes to writing, you now want to focus on the creativity aspect, the new, fresh idea. You want to focus on that. And so you don't focus on the line writing, because line writing does take time. It takes a lot of effort to make sure that you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's. You're making sure that your sentence structure and word order and everything is really just working and flawless and proper. And so they ignore that, or they don't pay as much attention to it in order to get the creativity part out there. And this is where I say that we are being conditioned to accept mediocrity. Because, okay, so what you're telling me is that she's lazy. That's all you're telling me. That's all you're telling me, is that she's lazy. Because you're saying that line writing is easy. So it's either that she doesn't have the skill, and that's why she's not doing it. And if that's the case, then you're just a bad writer, okay? Because line writing is an essential part of good quality writing, okay? So if it's so easy, she should be able to do it if she's such an amazing writer. And if she can't, once again, you're a bad writer. And if she can and she's choosing not to because it will take too much time and effort, then you're a lazy writer. And this is what we're gobbling up: bad writing. And we've spoken about this on this channel before. The fact that we are gobbling up books that are just poor quality, that actually have grammatical errors. Something as simple as spelling can be messed up, and a critically acclaimed or traditionally published book, like Big Five publisher book, that is happening, and it's happening more and more. And I think, once again, we're being conditioned to it, because what's happening is you have these books where they suck, like in just basic quality aspect. The idea can be great, but in terms of quality and actual writing, they suck. But they blow because the idea was so fresh. Now, as editors and publishers and all of that, allowing it to get to a point where it can get to this, and with all the reprintings, no one decided to correct it until like later on, and probably it's still not corrected, still not a probably like properly written book. But then more and more books are getting through the cracks. More books are being published that just have poor writing because of this brand new idea that's making the rounds. And so now authors are seeing that I do not need to have quality in terms of like proper writing and line writing, as long as I have a banging idea. And when that is what we are consistently consuming, like just constantly taking in, why will we see an issue with it? And even if we see an issue with it, why will we now demand for better when we are already accustomed to it? Oh, you know what? I'm used to finding errors in books. It always happens. It shouldn't be happening. You should be going through several stages of editing before you have a chance to be on a shelf. This is why authors get signed and then their book comes out 2, 3 years later. That's how it used to be. Now, people are getting signed and their books are getting published in 2 months. They're not going through these proper channels that will, scrape out the errors, scrape out the continuity issues, scrape out the plot holes, just scrape out everything that would make the book bad. They're not going through these processes because what we're doing is we're just catering to just face level. We're catering through just the beautiful idea. And now that we're so accustomed to it and we don't see a problem with it, the publishers don't see a problem with it either. As long as you have a brand new, fresh idea, why should we care if quality is anywhere near the bottom? Why? And it's just so terrifying. And I know that, people who have read like classic literature, I've read classic literature, or even literature from like maybe a decade ago. And then you read books now. And you're just like, oh God, what a difference that time has made. And I blame the publishers. I do. Because let's be real. I'm not calling anyone out. I'm kind of calling some people out. The literacy levels of quite a few countries in this day and age is poor. It's incredibly poor. Like, it's terrible. Quite frankly, it's disgusting. Like, it should be better. And so I'm calling out quite a few education departments and governments for what they've allowed literacy levels to get to. So them I'm calling out, and you guys deserve to be called out because it needs to be improved. So let's call them out and call them out well. But we have all of this, the literacy levels, just diminishing, just getting terrible. And then publishers who are meant to actually be ensuring that they put out just sound, great quality books in order to help with literacy are putting out trash books to make more money, which is contributing to the poor literacy. Because when a child now reads a book that has 1,000 grammatical errors, why will they not think that that's correct? You get me, right? You get me. And so as I am looking at it now, I am so disappointed. But I know we went on a bit of a segue, but that's definitely my point. The fact that you can't see mass appeal and equate that to quality. But when it comes to quality, we definitely have someone to blame, because it doesn't seem like the quality is getting better, because they're allowing and they're accepting just mediocrity and poor writing, and that's now becoming the standard. I mean, let's be real. I write. I've mentioned it before on this channel. I secretly write. It's an open secret to some, but for others, it's just a secret. But since I'm putting it out there, it's now just an open secret. I write. My friends have read my writing. Well, a few friends have read my writing. They've enjoyed my writing. And it is a dream that one day, possibly, I might publish it. Now, a few of those ideas are basic, let's be real. But line level writing, I ensure that it's just there. One or two of the ideas, I would say that it's fresh. It's new. And I have barely even nicked the surface, simply because I want the line level to be on point. I want it to be correct. But the fact of the matter is, if you are just looking for a brand new idea and I can throw any words together as long as the idea in the main part of the story is out there, then quite frankly, I could, you know what? Why not? Let me just finish it in 2 days and send it to an agent. Start querying. I mean, they don't care about the quality, right? it's just it's so frustrating, and takes like these make me frustrated because you're really kind of it kind of is perpetuating the idea that quality doesn't matter. And in a world where we're losing quality in quite a lot of things, like, oh, do not ruin the quality of literature, please, please, please. So this take, as I said earlier, I do not agree. If anything, I think it's trash. I haven't read Stephenie Meyer's book. I've said it. I haven't read Stephenie Meyer's book. I cannot comment, and I will not comment on her writing because I've not read her book. You guys can comment all you want. I've not read her book. But the statement that she is better simply because she had a good idea and poor writing to back that idea, I will never agree with that. I will absolutely not agree with that. And I will die on that hill. Quality, like line level, I will die on it. I'm so sorry. I know that the original creator of this video, you know, she works in publishing, and she's always telling tips about, oh, you know, how to make sure that, you know, we pick up your book, or we da da da. That's great. That's great. That's great. If I ever publish my book, I'll probably be one of those people who have sold, you know, who sell like 10 copies, because I would, you know, rather keep my quality than, you know, sacrifice that for some mass appeal and poor quality books. That's just me. That's just me. That's all I gotta say. But this take is not for me. For those of you who have watched it and even agree with it, you guys know me. I love having a discussion. Put it in the comments. Tell me why you agree with her. And if you agree with me, power to the people. Me and you, we're together. If you don't agree with me, it's still a vibe. We can still vibe. We'll just agree to disagree. That's it. We will just agree to disagree. But that is where I stand. That's where I land with this entire take. It's a bit of a madness, let's be real. But for now, we're just gonna have to allow it, and see where the publishing world is going. I don't see it going anywhere that great, to be honest, but let's just see where it's going, okay? But until next time, guys, I'll see you guys soon. Be sure to like, comment, share, and if you haven't already, do subscribe, and be sure to click on that little bell so that obviously anytime I post, you get the notification and you just run all the way back here, because yeah, I have quite a few hot takes about a lot of things, and I have great reviews as well. You can see some of the old reviews as a new review comes. But until next time, guys, I'll see you soon. Bye.